we are in life.
MC, take over. Hemalata?
Yes, sir.
Start, ma. Start.
A very good morning to one and all present here. We are happy to welcome you all once again for the second day of the webinar on HR conglomerate. Without any further delay, let us begin the program with a prayer. I invite Kevin Roshan from the Department of Mathematics to lead us into prayer.
Let us all close our eyes and bow down our heads in prayer. Lord, our Heavenly Father, we thank you and praise you for bringing us together for this webinar. As we have gathered here in the harbor of Lord's safety, we ask you, Lord, for your guidance, wisdom, and support. As we begin the webinar, help us to engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a group, strengthen us, restore us, inspire us with your love. Our special prayers for our management, the organizing committee, speaker, and our staff. Heavenly Father, protect all of us under your wings and help us to fight against the dreadful virus. Our sincere prayers for the people who are affected by the virus and the family members. Be with us, Lord, and shower your blessings. Amen.
Thank you, Kevin. I now invite Mr. Naveen Kumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Maths, to give us the welcome address.
Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you all for the second day of HR Conglomerate. On behalf of Patrician College SOSAB, I wholeheartedly welcome today's resource persons, Mr. Murali, Regional Manager of Wipro, Mr. Amos, HR Manager of Axis Bank, and Dr. R. Gayatri, HR Motivational Coach of Master Trainer and Facilitator. We are truly delighted to HR Conglomerate. I also render a special welcome to Madam Principal, Dr. Usha Jad. I welcome the fruits of today's seeds, dear students from various institutions. I conclude by saying, helping students find a path to pursue is one of the noblest aspects, and so we are here today. Once again, I welcome all.
Thank you very much, sir. I would like to invite Madam Principal, Dr. Usha George, to facilitate the gathering.
Ma'am, Principal ma'am.
I think Nal is facing some technical issue. We will go on to next person.
Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Once again, a very good morning to one and all present here. I'm also very happy to be a part of this webinar, which is being organized by the SOSAB team of our college. And very glad to hear that the response has been very good from a number of youngsters who are looking out to be placed in various sectors, in various positions. And they're keen on knowing what the industry expects of them. It is a subject that is very, very relevant and useful to the people who are seeking jobs, because generally after a degree, undergraduation or a post-graduation degree, you feel you have got your certificate, you are fully qualified and so on. But the expectations or the demands of the industry is something totally different. And you need to be aware of what the industry expects of you if you need to be hired and you need to continue to be placed, continue to enjoy the job that you have got. There is no doubt that it's a very difficult time, and everybody should accept the fact that it's very difficult in the job market now. Hiring is very low. Many of them have lost their jobs. The pandemic has touched the lives and livelihood of many. But there is no need to panic or lose hope. At this juncture, I would like to tell the students that what you need to do is to be self-motivated, be confident, and prepare yourselves, upskill yourselves, understand what are your core skills, and try to develop on them. Be connected with people who will be able to help you. Be connected with professional networks or groups. Excuse me a minute. I'm supposed to be in another meeting. That is why I'm getting called from there. Sorry. Okay. So understand that this is the time for you. You have a lot of opportunity and time to prepare yourself by attending various courses. Some of them are coming also free to you. So keep yourself exposed to what are the requirements that the companies will require from you. I'm sure the HR professionals who are here will give you a clear perception of what is expected of you, and it will be an eye-opener. The session will be an eye-opener for you to create a profile which will be more impressive and which will automatically help you to be hired by various places. You need to be strategic at this moment. Like you need to target. When you prepare a CV, you should see how you will be able to draw the attention of the HR professionals to see that you are a candidate who will be eligible for the job that you are looking out for. So all this, a large role or responsibility lies in your hands, in how you equip yourselves. So I think this session will be a very enlightening and illuminating one for you. I thank all the professionals, HR professionals who have joined here in this program. Yesterday and today, you are spending your time to share your expertise, your knowledge, your views, and to guide and mentor our students. I thank you all for being here, and my appreciations to the SOSUB team also for organizing this webinar today. Thank you all. Have a good day. Kindly excuse me, I have another meeting to attend. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your motivative speech, ma'am.
Yeah.
I now invite Dr. Purushothaman. I now invite Divya Chawla from the Department of Psychology to take over this session.
Good morning, everyone. It is a wonderful Saturday morning here today. So we will start our first session with Mr. Murli Raghavan, and it takes immense pleasure for me to introduce him to the audience today. So Mr. Murli Raghavan is a business leader with over 17 plus years of successful business development and service delivery experience. He has a proven track record of running and building businesses and brands throughout Middle East and India. He started his career in Dell Computers, Bangalore, and has worked with multiple organizations at various levels like Airtel, Idea, and Wipro. Currently, he is heading the business as regional manager for Wipro at Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. We welcome you, sir. You can proceed with the session.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Divya, for this nice intro. So, as you mentioned, this Murli here. I've spent my career starting from India and through Middle East. First of all, I'd like to thank the Patrician College management for giving me such a unique opportunity to address the young generation, the young students, while I have, I have been engaged in a lot of training sessions, for the freshers. I've had a large group of people, students working under me as freshers. I've been a part of many, campus recruitments for selecting, students for multiple, for multiple levels. But this is a unique opportunity where, it's in this pandemic time, it gives us, an opportunity to connect with these students. And, each one of us, have gone through a very rough patch in our life. And this is one of the, I think, the toughest patches, which, probably one could have never imagined. So it's a very good topic. What industry expects such a such a enlightening topic, which one should know. Probably when we were students, we were not aware of all these online sessions. We just came out of college with some book knowledge, and then we started looking upon people to see what they do, how they behave, how they work. Started copying people in terms of their working culture, their behavior, and that's how we grew up. In fact, I had a very good experience, seeing my dad working. He was a banker, and I used to see him, being so punctual, being so dedicated to work. So that somehow, since I've been seeing it from a small age, I started learning, and I'm sure each one of you would have also experienced this. In today's generation, the couple of key pointers, which I will touch upon few points, which you need to, which you can probably note down. I have not made a presentation because, there is enough and material available on the, web now. So I've just made a few points which I wanted to discuss. I would like to start with a quick intro about how my journey has been over the last 17, 18 years. When I started as a fresher, how it was, how I felt. So I started with this company called as Dell International Services. After finishing my MBA, during my MBA itself, I have done a couple of projects for Britannia Group, for Spice Telecom Bangalore, where I had quite a bit of exposure as to what the market is, what corporate culture is, working with people. So I studied in Shastra deemed University, Tanjore, and then I moved to Bangalore to pursue my career. And the first break I got was in Dell International. It was not the job which I actually wanted to do. It was more of a telesales kind of a job, addressing the US market. But I took it up as a challenge, working in night shifts, multiple shifts for about a year. It gave me a good exposure on, interacting with people. You start interacting with clients, outside India. So you need to be very conscious of what you're talking. So here is one point which I wanted to make is adaptability. Adaptability is a very good, you need to be very adaptable to every situation. Today's world, I have met a lot of students who have in their mind that I want to do only this. I have done, BSc Computer Science. I will only become a programmer. I have studied this. I will do only this. So try to be a little flexible in today's scenario. Take up something which, which you get the way. I don't mean that, you take up anything, everything, but that needs to be little related to what your dreams are, your passions are. You need to identify, yourself at this stage, what you want to do, how the world is going. Adaptability is the first point which I wanted to touch upon. The second point is very related to adaptability. So relating to my career after my first job, I was not very happy working in night shifts. It was not very, you live a very dead life for people working in night shift. You work throughout the night and then you sleep throughout the day. Again, you go back to, it's a very different and a very difficult life, which people work. Somehow many people like it, but it was not something which I want to do. So the next job I moved to Spice Telecom. Now it is called as Idea Cellular. As a corporate sales executive, and initially there is a lot of running around. You had to meet new customers, new clients. Then I was given the task of building up a team for myself, and that is when I started going to colleges around Bangalore and recruiting people, recruiting a sales team under me, marketing under me. So it gave me a lot of exposure. So the next point, what I wanted to make is about mobility. You need to be a little mobile, not only in terms of physical mobility, but in terms of your thought process. Every environment, every company is totally different in terms of, there are a lot of politics. You might not like the bosses. You might do extremely well where the co-workers might not might not like your growth, the way you're working. Or sometimes sometimes you would want to do something good and the others are stopping you to do good things because they feel you're a junior, they are seniors. So these kind of lot of situations will come inside organizations. So you need to be a little mobile in terms of adapting towards the culture of the people working around you. And also, especially for students who have studied in Chennai and parts of Tamil Nadu. I'm from Tamil Nadu, but I felt they have that comfort feeling, working in Chennai, because they feel it's good to be at home. It's good to be working for your own, the place where you're staying. But you need to come out a little bit of that comfort zone. And if you get an opportunity, to work in some other city, it can be anywhere. It can be some other country, some other city. Don't miss that opportunity. Just because you're in the comfort zone, don't miss that opportunity. So come out of your comfort zone. So that's another point to success, where you have to work in different places. So I moved from Spice Telecom, then I moved to Airtel. I was working in Bangalore, then I was transferred to Hyderabad. Hyderabad was a completely different place to work. I worked for about 2-3 years, building up the enterprise sales team. I was working with large enterprise customers there. Here, and then, I had covered about 3-4 years of experience in the telecom side. Then, since I started working very closely with large customers in Hyderabad, like Dr. Reddy Laboratories, or be it Deloitte, be it Accenture, these were some of my clients. In fact, Wipro was one of my clients. Infosys was one of my clients. So when I started working with these kind of sectors, then your name starts becoming, famous. That there is someone handling the client well. Then I was picked and chosen by Dell. Again, Dell came up to me saying that, why can't you, handle our business? Then I moved back to Dell, and that is where, you have to. I came out of my comfort zone. I worked in the telecom sector. Then I had to learn new things. So here is a very important point. When you're moving from one organization to another organization, there is a complete bell curve which happens. You start learning. You become an expert in what you're doing. And then, the moment you join a new organization, your knowledge needs to start from zero. You need to unlearn everything what you have learned. while you need to have it in back of your mind, but if you don't unlearn, if you don't unlearn what you have done, it's like blowing a balloon. Unless and until you don't, you blow a balloon to a large extent, you blow it, and then you need to release that air out of it. That is what you're releasing, the knowledge, whatever you've learned, that it also involves the ego which you have inside you. You need to release that and then start learning. And that is when you start growing within the organization. So that is one point which I wanted to touch upon, is the tech savvy. Just a while back, the principal ma'am was mentioning about, learning new things, joining new courses. This is the time which you need to spend more time, in learning process. It can be any type of learning. You join a course, you read books. Reading books is a very good habit in whatever language. It can be Tamil, it can be your regional language, it can be, definitely you need to, scale up the, reading process. It gives you a lot of information, so this is the time you start learning. Learning is very important at this point of time, and the world is moving towards a technological world. So ensure that whatever you're learning, it is towards whatever your dreams which you're following. So that is one key point. Keep yourself updated in terms of the latest developments, because when you go and attend an interview, the first thing, they will not ask you about your experience, because they know you're a fresher. They will want to know about the confidence which you bring. Even you might, it is a very, common in our days. They used to, they used to say that in IAS interviews, they used to ask how many steps you, climbed and came up. You can be wrong. You can be approximate. They want you to be open. They want you to open up in front of them. So there are 2-3 points which I wanted to cover here. One is tech savvy. So start being more technical. Whichever stream, you might do your BA, you might do your MA, you might do your BSc, you might do your BCom, but ensure that, you mix in little bit of technology in whatever you're doing. And then, one more point which I wanted to make is, when you're joining a new organization, or before joining a new organization, during the interview process, or when you're talking to people, try to be modest, modest in terms of, tell them what good you would have done. It could be very helpful. You could have done anything good, for your family. It can be for your friends. It can be during a project work which you have done. Try to try to tell others, when during the interview, or during, with your friends, try to be more positive in terms of sharing the good things, which you have done. And whenever you're, following this process of doing good, keep something in behind, that you need to follow some kind of passion which you have. You might, you might want to start a restaurant 15 years later. You might want to open a company later. You might want to get into training. You might want to be a singer. You might want to be a music. Don't leave that passion while you're working. Don't leave an opportunity to take up the right job. Follow whatever comes your way. Ensure that you don't go out of stream, and keep that passion behind you. It is very important, because over the last 15-20 years, whatever I've done, but I have not left my passion. My passion is meeting people, making new friends, good friends, who add a value to you, to yourself, to your organization. It can be your professors, it can be the college students around you, it can be companies which you work with, customers, it can be a lot of motivating people whom I connect with, a lot of spiritual people. Keep doing that. And I have ensured that while keep doing my work, keep growing in whatever, because I have a family, I need to support too. Sometimes you have to work for money is not everything, but it is very essential for you to work. So, but don't leave your passion. Keep following your passion. So why I tell this is, I do a lot of social work. In Trichy, I have, along with my brother-in-law, I run an old age home, because that is something which is there inside me, that, at whatever age after working, you keep working, and you need some kind of a mental satisfaction. So keep your passion behind you. So again, coming back to the topic, what the industry expects you to not, you should know the book knowledge, but you need to be open to ideas. You need to be showing what you know. It can be right, it can be wrong, but you need to show what you have. And I think I've covered most of the points, but I wanted to cover one of the key point, which is very important, which is for the girl students. Touching all these points on mobility, adaptability. Girls are little bit. I'm not talking about everyone, but the girl students are a little bit reserved. They are a little bit confused as to they've been brought up in a very closed culture, within parents, a small group of friends. So when you step into an organization, there'll be multiple levels of people whom you will be interacting with. So be bold, be courageous. If you think it is right, please stick to your point. Either it can be your boss, it can be a co-worker, and know the limits as to how much you need to mingle with people, at least for the first 10 years, 5 years. Know your limits in terms of the working culture. It can be for boys, it can be for girls. It is very important, for girl students for them to grow. They need to learn a lot. They need to be adaptable within the new working culture. It can be your, as I mentioned, it can be your boss, it can be your co-workers. Mingle with people, start learning more, be courageous. Don't have that fear feeling that, nowadays it is not like that. But be as much as courageous as you can. And you see a lot of top leaders, who are doing extremely well. It can be the Pepsi owner, it can be Pepsi CEO, it can be ICICI Bank CEO, it can be many organizations where our Indian women are really flourishing. It is because of the confidence which they have that they can do. Don't lose your confidence. Don't lose your passion. It is for everyone. Be strong. Stick to whatever you do. Be positive. Don't get worried about this current situation. Everyone is worried, including me, who has about 20 years experience. I don't know whether I'll have my job tomorrow, though I have people working under me. The world is going in such a fashion that, job is not everything, but, job is so insecure. So don't feel insecure and be positive. And thanks a lot for giving me the opportunity. I think I've stuck to my time. I thank one and all for listening to me. You can reach out to me. I am available on Facebook, LinkedIn. Murli Krishna Raghavan is my full name. You can take my email address from the management, and I'm ready to support and help you out at any given point of time. Thanks a lot once again.
Thank you, Mr. Murli, for that very, very informational session. You brought out a lot of anecdotal experiences, which I'm sure students would find it very helpful. Now, I will open the floor for questions from the students. You can type out your questions in the chat box and I can read it out to sir, or you have also the option to unmute yourself so that you can ask sir directly. So we have one question here by Kartikar. He says, so that he has done his BCom and he's looking to do a course in investment banking. He says, can I know how is the growth and future projection growth in that field? Investment banking.
Yeah, so again, the base, the base is finance, BCom. I always, always regret why, I didn't specialize in finance, banking, investment banking, or be it corporate banking. So it's an evergreen field, but don't stop with your BCom, because there are lakhs of students who are doing multiple courses, competing with you. So don't stop doing do your post graduations, do courses related to banking or be it finance. Start studying the market. There are multiple sites which are available where you can gain a lot of knowledge, and start following people who are there on this in this field, which is the banking industry. Listen to them. You need to develop a lot of knowledge, because the banking sector is such a very volatile sector. Things keeps changing, on a day-to-day basis. So you need to be updated. That's where your tech savvy, technology, your use. I think, I don't know whether I forgot to mention a point. Start using the social media to the best extent possible. Be positive. Put blogs. Positive blogs, while you should enjoy doing a lot of these TikTok videos and all that, but start doing something positive in terms of reading and using social media to learn more. To answer your point, yes, it's a very evergreen industry. So pursue, have patience and pursue.
Thank you so much, sir, for that response. The next question we have is that after MCA, can I get any jobs in Saudi Arabia? After MCA, can we do software engineering? And just a follow up to that, one person says, by doing MBA if doing MBA in correspondence is a good option or not.
So I will try to answer everything in a nutshell. Degree, it can be MBA, MCA, it can be any degree. It is, and any country. It can be Saudi, or it can be Kuwait, or it can be Qatar, it can be India, wherever, Dubai, whatever. The kind of exposure which you get in India, you don't get anywhere. Please underline that point. At least in the first 5 to 10 years of your career, don't look at money. Look at building up your experience. Because I came here because it was just by chance, but the kind of work, the kind of experience, the kind of comfort working you get in India, or some parts of other parts of the Middle East, Southeast Asia, like Singapore. These countries is far better than working in Middle East. It is not to discourage people who have plans to go to Middle East, but at least for the first 5 to 10 years, try to take up some job in India. It can be a tough job. It can be, if you're doing MBA, try to take up, if you want to grow your career in marketing, try to take up some job in marketing. If you want to do in sales, try to choose sales. If there is a BCom or an MCA graduate, try to take up some development work in whatever fields. And but just to answer the point on MCA, there are tremendous opportunities now in for freshers. If you choose IT security, if you use analytics, if you use blockchain technology, these are the booming technologies which are coming up. Analytics is something which every smallest thing which you use has analytics now built up. Your phone to your fridge to your washing machine to everything has artificial intelligence and so much of technology which goes. So people who are doing BSc computer science, MCA, MBA in IT, whoever wants to pursue something in the IT, choose these kind of fields like analytics, IT security. These are the things which is going to boom for the next 15, 20 years. I might be wrong because today this is booming, tomorrow there is something else which will come up, but I'm just giving you a small guidance.
Thank you so much for the guidance, sir. I think we will take one last question before moving on to the next speaker. And I think this must be around the same lines of what you already clarified is a student pursuing first year in BBA asks that they are planning to start an industry and they want to know what other courses they should follow. Besides the degree, they are joining CMA once the lockdown is done. Maybe Mogal, you can clarify what kind of industry you are planning to start. Then sir can be a bit more specific. And Jayarani says, which is the job sector which has the most scope in India right now? Asks.
Every job sector, just to answer the second part, every job I think everything is opening up now. While there's a lot of news of media that people are losing jobs and all that, but I see in my own company, and I see many. I'm part of many social media groups and LinkedIn. I see jobs are just flowing in from the bottommost level to the topmost level. There are job openings, and I think India has got a lot of. India has been looked upon now after so many years. Not that I'm supporting any government or something, but I see that India has been looked upon in a complete different way. Because I meet a lot of customers in top customers, CEOs, CIOs in Saudi Arabia, in Kuwait. They are seeing India to a very, very different level. Earlier, to just give you a small information. Earlier, Middle East was very reserved. They didn't like working with especially Indians, while Indians are the largest populated, but still, they look upon Indians at one level down. But now it has changed. Now people say, I don't mind outsourcing the work. People like Wipro outsource a lot of work to India. So they say, I think the best talent lies in India. So, give me a proposition where I want to outsource all the work to India. I want to outsource all the work here. I want to outsource this work. I think so. That is after top guys like Microsoft has an Indian boss, Google has an Indian boss, IBM has an Indian boss, and so now India is the Indians are being looked in a different way. So pursue anything. There is no particular sector. Keep looking out for job portals, and I again don't take any shortcut for getting a job. Just because someone is telling, this job is good, that job is good, I will get you backdoor entry into an MNC. This is the kind of spams which are going on. A lot of people are getting duped because of this. It's a very important point to all the students. Please don't get duped, because there is no shortcut to success. Even if you're getting 2,000 rupees somewhere, please take up that, but don't get, carried away by people who are offering more. And, just because someone is telling, please don't go. However true it might be, that will not last.
Thank Thank you,
Yeah,
Mr.
that's it.
Murli. Thank you, Mr. Murli. This session was definitely very informative. For the others who have questions, please do feel free to contact Mr. Murli via his email ID. And for now, we will proceed on to the next speaker. Thank you, Mr. Murli. So the next
Thanks a lot.
So next speaker for today's session is Mr. Amos. He is a HR manager who has managed close to 175 branches across from Chennai to Nagapattinam. He started his career in July 2014 as an HR officer in Equitas, which is a small finance bank. And based on performance, he got several promotions within a 4-year stint. In 2017, he moved to IIFL as a zonal manager and for TA and employee engagement for about 2 years in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. And in 2019, he joined Axis Bank as an HR manager, handling TA, retention, and induction for new joinees. So with this introduction, I welcome you, Mr. Amos, to take the stage.
So good morning, Divya. Thanks for this wonderful introduction. So I'm just here to talk about how banking industry works. Okay. So most of the freshers, or even including me, initially when I started my career, I thought like, okay, bankers, like we predominantly visited only PSU banks like Indian Bank or IOB or State Bank with our parents. So we thought like bankers, like, okay, it's just a work 9 to 6 6 o'clock from morning to evening, and we'll be just collecting money, deposit and withdrawal of money. That is what we understand, and that is what we see in PSU banks, like government banks. But private banks are totally different in terms of like they predominantly focus on sales plus service. So most of them would have seen that the quality of service given by private banks and government banks differs. It is by that nature because we basically visit government bank for the safety concern, but we always think like depositing minimum value of 10,000 in a private bank, it's a big deal. But the service which we get in private bank when compared to government bank, it is totally different. Okay, the way of treatment you get from the relationship manager, whomsoever, they will treat you as a person instead of if you visit to PSU bank, they treat you in a different manner. Okay, and I started my career in Equitas Bank as a HR officer. So I'm also a fresher, and I just have hardly 7 years of experience. But as Murli sir said, the exposure and the experience you get in Indian country, you will never get it anyway. Okay, the knowledge and the exposure in terms of internal politics, in terms of operational parameters like how the organization works, how the corporate world works, you will get all sort of exposure, especially in Indian companies. Okay, and I just want to touch few points. Initially, I just want to explain what all the private banks focus predominantly. Someone asked about investment banking. Yes, they predominantly focus only in terms of like product which gives more revenue, and their focus will be on sales. Many of them who are all doing BCom general or BCom and MCom and MBA finance, they prefer to work in banks, but they doesn't know that bank predominantly focus 60 to 70 percentage of sales and 30 to 40 percentage of service. But this 60 to 40 percentage, 60 percentage of sales and 40 percentage of service, banks like SDFC, ICICI, Axis, Kotak, IndusInd, they are all already a big player overall having a set of customers. So you should not think like it's a sales job. So we have to go and stand in the sun, or you have to give pamphlets, or you have to do all those things. Nothing. You have to sit in the branch. You have to talk to the customer who are all already having an account. You have to just do a cross sell of products. You should always take up challenges. Okay, for example, as a fresher, whenever you get into an organization, let it be bank or any organization, you should be always clear that you are going to work only for you, not for none of the people who are all working for the organization. Let it be CEO, let it be your supervisor, or let it be your own colleague or your friend, nothing. You are just going to work only for you. This is what I used to tell to all my freshers during the induction, stating that, boss, please work only for you and please work only for your family and parents. The all hard earned money, it is only for you, not for none. So always focus to work instead of focusing on other things, so that you will also get exposure, as well as you also get knowledge, and also you will also get what to say, people connect with people like customers. Like, see, larger banks always have VIP customers, and they predominantly focus on deposit products, insurance, and all those stuff. So this is how the banking works. How PSU hire in terms of like hiring part, PSU banks, the government banks hire in a mass recruitment, and they will post you anywhere. But in private banks, you have a slighter extension. Like, you can request for the location where you want to be posted. We even post people in places like Nagapattinam, Kanyakumari, or Madurai, and even we place people in Chennai. And for example, the major product of the bank is CASA and TD. Okay, so these are all product comes with the banking, which as a fresher, we never knew that. We just knew that, okay, it's just a deposit and withdrawal. So this is about the private banks. Their focus predominantly on sales plus service, and the sales is in-house sales. Like, yes, you have to go out, you have to go and meet the customer. This customer will give you a time to come and meet, to pitch in product. All this product knowledge, process knowledge, explaining about the products, everything you will be trained. But you have to always have a self motivation to learn by yourself also. Training can be given via online or in person once this pandemic gets over. But it is all within you. You should have a self motivation in terms of what role you have taken from the session and what role you are going to explore, so that your result will be in a good and expected way. And as for a fresher, I'm going to touch on 5 points, which is predominantly expected as a fresher. You will be thinking, what is being expected? I got 90% of mark and 100% of marks in all my exam. I'm a gold medalist. I think your marks, it is going to help you in terms of like to understand how good are you and how good grasping power you have and what is your knowledge in terms of basics. Okay, but in interview, when a HR asks you to please understand, when a HR asks you to tell about yourself, it is to understand how clear you are about your things. For example, if someone asks you to tell about yourself, you should not talk like, yes, my name is Kumar, my father is this, and I'm from here. So try to cut short all those things and try to explain something which you have done during your academics, which you got appreciation from the college or a school or from a professor, or even social activities which you do near your areas, or some blood donation camp, like example, blood donation camps or medical camps which you've done via your social networking. So it is to understand how strong in your communication, as well as to how strong you are about conveying things. Okay, and I'm going to touch up points like positive thinking, attitude, motivation, goal settings, and values and vision. Okay, so as Murli said, you should read a lot of books. Okay, books will always um, help you to increase your communication well. Okay, for example, see, in my lifestyle, I'm born and brought up from a slum. Many of you knew, since Patrician College is in Adayar, I stay in Little Mount. I born and brought up from a location called Venkatapuram. It's an Pakka slum in Chennai. Okay, my father is just 10th passed and my mother is 8th passed. But I'm the first graduate and second graduate in the family, first double graduate in the family. And on my own, I got this job. I have attended 14 interviews, like consultants in small organizations. But my goal is very clear. I want to get into a bigger organization. So when I joined Ecotas, it was a microfinance organization. But later on, after 2 years, we got an in-principle license from RBI for small finance banking. Okay, so the goal setting was very clear. Out of 14 organizations, even I got selected in few of the consultancies. But my predominant focus is to work in an organization where I get more exposure in terms of like corporate culture, corporate politics, corporate knowledge, and corporate experience with the seniors. You will have to work along with VP level or SVP level or MD or CEO. So I just started my career as an HR officer, like where I used to prepare offer letters and where I used to prepare induction mailers to all the new joinees. This is how I started. So in the first session when Murli sir was explained, whenever the opportunity comes, never say no. So when my supervisor asked me, do you have an option to, or do you have an experience worked in Naukri site to source a profile? So I said, sir, I don't have an experience, but I love to learn. So he said, okay, go and sit with one of your senior. I'll give you in 1 hour of time to learn in terms of like how to source. So within that 1 hour, with my good grasping power, I learned. Then I started to work on profiles. Then slowly I gained knowledge. And finally, before setting up the banking, when we got licensed, I'm the second person to move to a bank role. Sorry. So I'm the second person in HR team to move to the bank role. Initially, when I joined, I was reporting to a concerned person. And after 2 years, we both were working on the same line. He was taking hiring for certain vertical of the bank. I was hiring for certain vertical of the bank. And that is how you grow in your career. So especially you should have your goal setting very clear. You join as a fresher or you join as a new joinee in any of your organization. Please be very clear. Your goal set has to be very clear. So when your goal, as long your eyes on the, you have an eyes on your goals, you don't see any obstacles. Okay, so all the obstacles may come and go in everyone's career, but your your goals has to be set clear and your eyes on the goal has to be always focused and have an eyes on your goal so that you don't give your ears to all the gossips and all those. Okay, so that is point number one. And second thing, what is being expected from you after positive thinking? What is being expected from any fresher in terms of like I'm a new join, what I can do? I can have a positive thinking. Yes, that is within me. Then what is else? The second thing is it is about an attitude. So how good attitude you are having in terms of like, so I picked few lines. For example, it's like it is what inside that count and what inside of us that makes us go up in our attitude. It is like, see, you should always have an attitude that, see, I have born from a smaller family with smaller financial support, but my attitude is very clear. My father supported me in education. I was a professional cricketer, but I've been asked to pay certain amount of money, which I was not in a position to pay due to financial crisis during 2007 and 8 for my districts and state level competition. So, but now I'm in a position to support my son. So that is how you should set your goal. Okay. During those days, my father can give me education, but now I can give my son education and also financial support. This only will come within you. You should always see all big achievers, like in even our Murli sir have gone through a lot of obstacles in his life. So you should always read books about achievers. You can also read book about Shiv Khera's You Can Win. There you will get more positive thinkings and more attitude things. The third point is self-motivation. See, thought will move along with the logics. Okay, emotions will move along with feelings, but only your motivation will move you within the action. So action will always result in positive way. Okay, yes, you will get obstacles. Even in my first organization, I even worked hiring for my MD and CEO, Mr. P.N. Vasudevan. Okay, he was my first attendee in my wedding reception because of the way I worked. So all the hard works, initial 4 years of hard works will always pay you in a bigger way. When I started my career, all freshers I see now, they always want to have a bigger salary like 20K, 30K, 40K. I've done MBA, boss. You have done MBA, which will give you a knowledge. But your education and your work is totally different. Yes, I am also MBA grad from Satyabama University. My initial paycheck is just 9,000 in hand. After deduction of PF, PSI, I was just getting 9,000 in hand in paycheck for the first month. Okay. yes, I have spent capitation, I have spent 2 lakhs of fee for 2 years, but still I used to get only 9 to 10,000. But so, as everyone says, fathers will always give and more motivation. So when I have a word with my father, Daddy, I was working for 1.5 years, but my salary is very less, like around 12,000, 13,000. Even though I get one promotion in 1.5 year, but my salary is just 13,000. He said, why don't you look at money? You are just 24, 25. Why you are looking out for money? Just get exposure. Okay, once you get experience and exposure from a corporate culture, your second and third company will pay you what you are not expected. Okay, now you will be, now I am starting investing in a lot of SAPs and all other investment products. Okay, so you will have an age where you will earn money. You will be thinking in terms of like whether how much I can save, how much I can spend, how much I can have a flourishing time with my spouse or family, or spending quality of time traveling abroad and traveling domestic travels within India, a lot of place to visit. So you should always have proper positive thinking, attitude, and the self motivation, and your goals has to be very clear. And the last point which I want to take is value and vision. See, values are priceless. The moment you give a price tag to your values, then it lose the values actually. See, whenever you have a value, for example, you should always value your job which is paying every month. For example, you're joining in an organization, and some management will behave in a different way, and some management will behave in a different way, and some supervisor may behave in a different way, and some supervisor will be behave in a different way, in terms of like you may get learnings, lot of learnings from a supervisor, and you will get a lot of shouting from a supervisors. There are two different set of people you will see in the corporate culture. Okay, so but try to get as more as you can learn from two set of people. Never run away from the problems. Okay, stick with problems, try to solve it. Okay, always value the job which is being given to you. It will repay you in a bigger way. Okay, and the vision. Our task is now not to fix the blame of the past. Okay, this line is since which I have already spoken to you. See, where you born, what is your family way, what is your family earlier. It is not, nothing is in your hand. Okay, but now you're the person to run for the future of your family. For example, the family of Mr. Ramesh is not within Ramesh. Okay, his son is there to take up. Okay, Ramesh may be an auto driver. Okay, but his son is a graduate of maybe like MBA. He is an MBA graduate. So is focused to work for the future. So that is why I said always work only for your family and you. Never give your ears to listen to gossips or what other colleagues do, and don't, I never say that don't enjoy, don't party, don't go out, don't spend time with friends, don't go to ground or play, whatever it may be. But always when you come to office, 9 o'clock to 6 p.m., it has to be only with work. This is what industries are looking out from a fresher. Okay, in initial interview of tell about yourself, always you should talk about your positive thinking, attitude, and your goal setting, like short term goal, what is long term goal. In terms of short term goal, you should not tell like, sir, within 1 year I should earn this much. You should tell in terms of position. After 5 years I have to be in this position. After 10 years I want to be in your seat, sir. This is what my last short term goal and long term goal. This is how we have to please plan and structure the way of you want to grow in your career, and this will help you out. Since this pandemic, everyone says that many people are asked to sack, and many people are asked to move from the organization or leave the organization, and a lot of people lose their job. See, if you want to get in a bank, you will always have a job safety. Okay, banks, you no need to worry. Banks will take care of you. Only thing is, you should be true to your organization. For example, we never had a salary cut. We never had a what to say, appraisal stopped. We got all our appraisal even last year, and even this year we are getting every month salary paid on date of every month end of 31st or 30th, whatever it may be. Okay, so job safety will be there and your career will be good. Okay, and since this pandemic is there and people are worried about their future, now I am throwing an opportunity. I had taken an approval to hire 50 freshers for Chennai, across Chennai, anywhere in Chennai. Okay, now I'm giving an opportunity to all the participants. I have a vacancy of 50 fresher for banking job. Yes, this will have sales plus service. Since you guys are worried about your career, your job, I'm giving an opportunity now. You can connect with Jacqueline ma'am. We have a 50 fresh vacancies which have taken recent approval for you people. Take this opportunity, use wisely, work only for you and your parents. Okay, I just want to finish with Shiv Kera's trademark line. Winner don't do different things, okay? They do things differently. So I always see freshers as a champion. As a young blood, you always have to be adaptable to the situation, react as per the situation, be flexible as per the situation. And we are always here to support you. Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I want to thank management and the Jacqueline, specific mention to Jacqueline ma'am for this opportunity. And that's all from my end. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, students.
Thank you, Mr. Amos. We will now open the floor for questions. Maybe we will take 2 questions since we are running a bit short on time.
No problem.
Students, any questions you have with respect to the banking sector and based on what Mr. Amos just spoke about, please do put it across on the chat box.
No questions.
I think they're typing it out. Let's just wait for a while.
Yeah.
Jacqueline, anyone would like to speak?
Ma'am, Chennai office near them to the where is the job opportunity in Chennai?
No. See the job opportunity. Chennai, we have more than 100 branches. Okay, so you no need to worry. For example, the branch location will be within 10 kilometers to 15 kilometers from your home. It will not be more than that radius. Okay, it depends on how good are you and where are the vacancies we can try to fill with people. Okay, so you just connect with, for example, you are from other college or from Patrician. Connect with Jacqueline ma'am. I'm ready to help you out.
Okay.
But I'll just want to highlight one thing for this role. It is a particular role. Yes, Pondicherry is also there. For this particular role, we are looking out for PG graduations like MCOM and MBA. UG means we are looking out for BE and BTech.
Mr. Amos, maybe if you could provide your email ID on the chat box. If students have any job specific questions, like, regarding the opening you were talking about, they can maybe contact you via mail. There is a question from Divya Shri that she is a BSc Computer Science graduate.
Yeah.
And if you have scope in the banking sector, because
see, scope, it is what always you create, madam. Okay, whatever you study, it is within you. You have to choose your field. Okay, let it be banking or let it be IT or let it be other industry. It is what you're going to choose. But before choosing, think thrice or twice. But after choosing, don't think. Just go within the flow. Put all your hard works. Always you will get paid or rewarded in 200 or 300% if you put 100% of your hard work. Okay? So current vacancy, it is only for BE, BTech and MCOM and MBA grads.
Thank you for clarifying that, Mr. Amos. If there is any other questions, please do put it out in the chat box. And maybe Mr. Amos can clarify it directly on the chat box while we proceed.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much, Mr. Amos.
Thanks, Divya. Thank you so much.
We are very, very inspired by your journey from the bottom to the top. Here we are. And now I shall proceed to the next session to introduce our next speaker for the day. So welcome, Dr. Gayatri. So Dr. Gayatri is a certified and extremely passionate HR professional, trainer, and motivational coach with over 12 years of cross-cultural experience in learning and development, talent management, performance management, employee engagement, and industry institute collaboration initiatives. She identifies as an extrovert with strong interpersonal and communication skills and has delivered multiple sessions across numerous education institutions working towards bridging the industry institute gap. And she has also received the Working Women Achievers Award 2019 from Uruni Foundation, for which she was selected across 600 nominations across India. So Dr. Gayatri, we're really happy to have you here. And we're really looking forward to what you have for the students. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Professor Divya, and special thanks to the management of Patrician College and Vaidegi ma'am, my professor, economics professor when I was doing BBA. Thank you, ma'am, for inviting me to this session, which connects with energizing minds, the students. So I would say when I interact with students, I be at an advantage level. I become energized. So that's the biggest point why I never say no when it comes to interacting with the student community. So all out there, student group and everyone watching this live session organized by Patrician College on a wonderful app theme, like what do you have versus what the industry wants. So when I saw this topic, I was like, okay, the topic is more of the individual has to suit the industry needs, right? So that is what many students look out for. But today, in this session, I'm going to share certain inputs based on my personal experience and out there looking at these students and other candidates whenever we meet, what actually is the reality and how you need to proactively work for it. So once again, a very good morning or good afternoon to everyone out there. And another important thing is the toughest part in having, for the last speaker, the entire session is all the points are covered by the other panelists. So what is my point? What should I cover? So I was noting down all the points. All the points are already covered in what I'm going to speak. But still, I would like to summarize and share the key points, which is very, very important at this point of time, right? So let's get into the topic. First thing is, at this is pandemic time, right? Fear is something, which is amongst every one of us, not just the student community, everyone, fear of, losing a job, fear of, whenever you hear, a negative news, you become, like you get scared, your heartbeat raises, a lot of things, right? So what I'm trying to say is the first important thing, especially be it student or anyone, I think we need to restrict ourselves from such negativity around us. Consciously, we need to restrict ourselves and refrain from such negativity around us. That will actually boost, be it our physical immune system or the positivity and so on. So kindly refrain yourself from this negativity which is around you. Because I would say in this pandemic time, yes, so-called viruses which we get scared, and we are in the lockdown scenario for the past almost 1 year, more than 1 year, right? And social distancing and the other protocol which needs to be followed. Yes, I agree. But the other thing which is creating that panic among us is the fear. Fear whether I would get a job, fear, I'm 2020 batch student, pass out, what is going to happen? Please refrain from such thoughts. So if you come across such news, consciously cut it across. I personally have gone through, right? I'm, a very sensitive individual, and I, by God's grace, I have a good networking, which I consciously, get along with people who boost my morale. And yes, I myself, as one of the panelists said, we need to consciously self-motivate ourselves, consciously. That is very, very important at this period of time, right? First thing is cut down the pointers, or it may be anything which develops a fear among you, right? That is point number one. Second thing is all the points which the other panelists said, be it getting into the banking industry or manufacturing or any other industry, right, which you are aspiring to be in, right? What is the first thing which you'll have to do? First, you need to understand what is your SWOT. So what is a SWOT? You need to know, right? What is your strengths? People may say that you can get this job, you can get that. Okay, you should not be in that mindset of that. Okay, chalo, whatever the posts come in Naukri or wherever, let me apply. No, that is a very wrong approach. That is a very wrong approach. You need to know yourself first. You need to do your SWOT periodically. What are your strengths? What is SWOT? For those who are not aware, strengths. What are your strengths? What are your area of opportunities which you need to improve? What are your weaknesses, right? And what are the opportunities wherein you can, use those strengths? So from yes, how you can develop the opportunity. And the W, the weaknesses or the areas to develop, if you do not focus, it will become a big bomb for you, a threat for you, right? So these two pointers are interlinked, S and O and W and T. So do a SWOT of yourself periodically. It's not just now for this pandemic time, at any point of time. It is not only applicable for students, everyone. We'll have to do a SWOT of ourselves. Are we consciously making use of our strengths in a, I would say in a beneficial way? Are we making use of the opportunity which is coming across us, right? So SWOT analysis is very, very important. So what are the questions which you'll have? You need to do a self-reflection. So I'm just going to share a quick questionnaire, a sort of, questions which you need to focus. I hope the screen is visible. Yes. Right? What is this, I would say a package of you, YOU comprised of? What is the SWOT of this you? For that, you need to do a self-reflection exercise. Consciously, take out some time. You spend time with so many things. We spend time, with, the social media, sharing a lot of, forwards. Fine, all that is fine. But still, you need to take out time every day in a consistent manner. Like, what is that I have done something useful today? Have I made use of my strength? What is the opportunity which came across, which I missed it out, which I need to do, right? Because every day's effort is what will define you and your success at a later point of time. Whether you are a BBA student, whether any branch of student, that is fine. Don't your thinking should not be like, after 3 years, will I get a job? That is, I would say that is not at all required to think at this point of time. You need to start working for it first. And then automatically the fear, you will not at all ask this question, will I get a job? You'll be confident, yes, whatsoever pandemic, whichever scenario, I know I have developed the right skill which is required, and I will get this opportunity in my advantage. So that is where you will develop that confidence. So for that, you need to do a self-reflection exercise. What is your superpower? Because many students say, I don't know, ma'am, and which I am good at. So for that, you need to connect with people who know about you, and don't just blindly take those inputs. Just collect, like it may be your parents, your friends, just recollect where they have always complimented you, given you compliments, they have praised you, appreciated you. So try to connect the dots. Hey, that means I'm good at problem solving. In a class there would be one person, everybody would be looking out for the guy. Hey, I'm the point that if I go to that boy, he will solve my problem. So he's a good problem solver. So that is how we need to identify what is our strength and connect with people who can help you to understand what your strengths are. At the same time, your areas to develop. And if you have come to know that these are your strengths, you need to chalk out an action plan. It's like, you possess the talent, but if you just, don't make use of it, and you, at the date of exam, you pray, my God, I should pass in the exam without studying. Will you get by applying all this theory and everything and just go to the exam and say, pass aganam, but you did not study. Will you? No. So if you possess that strength, you need to work for that. There's no shortcut, right? So you need to work on that. And then make use of the opportunity, automatically success will be yours, right? So do a self-reflection exercise and understand what your strengths, areas to develop are, and where you need to focus. What is your passion? What is your, I think one of the panelists was also saying, Murali Raghu, wherever you are, I think the passion is something which will drive you. Many people will say, you studied BCom, you are getting into photography. That's okay. See, the degree certificate or whatever certificate which you get, it's just, I would say, it's just a sort of a pass, entry pass. Okay, this is for a formality. But how you're going to take your career on a long term, those areas which you love to perform, which you are good at, okay, which you can really, do it with passion, enjoy it. That is what is going to matter, right? And do not worry about this job security. Once again, I say, if you are confident on a specific skill, you can rock in any difficult scenario. Just imagine there are so many people who are left jobless, but still you can see them taking an alternative option and working and, doing, at least managing their life. How is it possible? One thing is self-confidence, positivity, cutting out the negative things, and then seeing an alternative option, what could be done. So in this scenario, be it anyone, what is the cure? What is a cure? First is you need to know your skills. Okay, what are you strong at? And then if you're not good at something, start working on it so that you can really, improvise yourself and at least avoid developing that as a threat, right? So in a simple term, I would like to say that the future of job or future of anybody's career, or to take it in a positive way, the only cure is getting your SWOT done and taking that in the right path by curing yourself. What is this curing yourself? Curing is C for cross-skilling. What is this cross-skilling? As Raghavan, Murali Raghavan and Amos and other panelists were saying, don't just restrict yourself that, I know this and I'm going to do only this. Try to understand, not at least, the entire gamut of that specific domain you need, but at least because the present scenario is you need to know at least everything, what is happening, what is the latest trend, how can you incorporate that in your specific domain which you are. For example, I say, if you're, good at, I would say, I would like to take the example of the academic scenario itself. Right now, okay, every one of us, be it schools, colleges, are connecting virtually online classes is going on, right? So if the colleges or schools or teachers, they say, no, I will only use a chalk and blackboard. So if you do not use this digital mode of connecting, will it practically be feasible to implement to connect with students? No. But one more important thing is you cannot replace that alone. I have always told this to all the students and academic groups. The human element cannot be replaced. Whatsoever the online classes happen, whatsoever thing, if a teacher calls up and speaks to a student individually or sees face, that human element cannot be replaced by any digital mode. It's just a mode of connecting each other, right? So for that sake, at least you need to know that digital skills, but the human element cannot be replaced. Whatsoever robots get into place, the human element, the creativity, the innovation is what will be at I would say, at the top pace, right? So two important skills which you have to keep in mind is, one is human element. One of the panelists was saying, right? Empathy, I think in yesterday's session. Yes, empathy is one of the, human elements. So whatsoever field you are, I think the human element is one of the skill which the HRs look out for. whether you're taking the HR stream or marketing or what. Even in this pandemic scenario, you see, humanity is something which is helping, to connect people and get, through this difficult scenario, right? So human element should not be missed out when you are looking out to develop other skills. That is very, very important. Second thing is learnability. How can you cure yourself? This cross-skilling, upskilling, reskilling, expert skilling, which you're seeing, all this is possible only you have the learnability skill, right? So if you want someone to say, hey, do this assignment, hey, do this, it will not work out. You have to have you need to take ownership of yourself. That self, learnability skill is very, very important. Even if you are getting employed, even now, right now, we are getting all these programs implemented in our organization as well. Why? Because they need to know the other skill set as well. As the technology improves, they cannot say that I'm going to restrict this, I know only this, I was hired for this, so I will do this for the next 25 years. No. So you need to upskill yourself, right? So for that, learnability, self-learning is very, very important. Don't wait for others to tell you that this you need to do. No, that will not work out. Upskilling is very, very important. Cross-skilling is important. And for all this, learnability skill, if you have that, you can cure yourself. Simple prescription, very simple prescription. You need to, but it's very difficult to actually do it in a consistent way daily. Once in a while, interview when the interview comes the previous day, I will sit and tell me about yourself. I will read the entire thing and mug up and I will tell, no, that is not the way and that will not work out the way you do for different chapters. Okay, it's not just you. We have also gone through the same phase. Practical, the reality is you need to take ownership of yourself and don't wait for others to have a stick and say that, hey, do it, hey, do it. If you have that opportunity, make use of this and correct yourself, right? Reskilling, similarly, reskilling. Expert skilling, if you feel that this is your expert domain, combine the other technologies. If you feel that you are good, at baking, or if you are good in, I would say accounts or whatever it is, how can you become an expert in that? Get to know the, details of it. I'll tell you a very simple layman example. Okay, why do you go to a specific shop and get parotas? I always tell this example in every of my session I interact. Why do you go? Because you know that shop provides very good parotas. Is it that shop or the parota master who did? He's an expert in it, right? So because of that parota master, that shop is really becoming hit and there are good customers coming in and getting. So what is it? Expert skilling. If you become an expert, you no need to fear that whether I'll get a job or not. You can have your own opportunity set, a platform set, and create a visibility and a brand of you. That is what I said. You are a brand. What is your USP? What is your USP? For that, you need to be yourself and don't copy or don't see that they have got this, I have not got this, and panic and have that fear. Leave it. Whatever you have, count your blessings each and every day. If you feel that this is your strength, this is something which I can afford now, take it and be happy for it. And try to focus on little things, because I think this pandemic has taught every one of us great lessons, right? So create a USP of yourself. And when you are creating a USP, don't forget two things, as I said. One is remove that fear. Don't compete with anybody, right? You compete with yourself first. That is important. Competing with others is going to take you, it's not going to take you anywhere. Compete with yourself. Create your own brand by knowing what are your strengths, what is your USP, which you can really work out. What is USP? Unique selling proposition. What is that I have, and I can have a brand and create a visibility. So that is when the branded top companies will hunt for you. You need not go and ask, what is the industry requiring? What is the industry requiring? This is my expertise. I am good at it. create that visibility in different platforms, network, give your ideas. People will come in search of you and hire you, right? That is more important, right? So what is this package of brand comprising? It's very easy and very nice when you hear me speaking, but it takes every day for it to work in a very consistent manner. That's not so easy, right? You need to have your story. Every one of us has story. Amos was telling a story. Yes, I mean, if I tell about my story, it will take a long time. So I want to restrict to these 15 minutes by sharing the pointers. So everyone has certain stories. From there, how are you going to come up and create a story and create this brand called as you and create visibility for you? For this, you have a lot of digital platforms now. No need to say. Use an appropriate platform when it comes to the professional. You have in Facebook, you have an Instagram, fine. All these friend requests, how many of you, 1,000 or 5,000 requests you have really connected with you in this pandemic time? Just realize, if they have connected, they are the real friends, right? So this pandemic has taught so many things. So network with the right people, my dear friends, to create visibility for yourself in the right platform. Connect in LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a very good professional platform wherein you can initiate discussion, share your thoughts, and people around the globe will support you if you have good ideas, right? So create your brand by knowing what are your strengths, right? What are your superpowers, and focus on it and create. And don't just restrict to it, as I said. The other way wherein you can cure if some difficult scenario arises is through cross-skilling, upskilling, right? And reskilling yourself and by becoming an expert in a specific domain. If not this, I can manage with this as well, right? That is way you can cure. That is a reactive way wherein you can cure yourself. You understand? So two things which you can, I would say the takeaway from my session would be, first thing is cut out the fear. Whatever the news which comes across you in a negative way, okay, try to restrict it to the maximum possible. That will really decrease the physical immunity level, the mind, I would say it will really destroy you. So please cut it from such thoughts. Second thing is, have a self learnability skill. Don't wait for others, right? Don't wait for others to say that this is what you have to do. You're all grown-ups, right? You know what are your responsibilities. So we need to take accountability of that and work towards that in a consistent way. And as I said, the only cure is by creating a brand of yourself, which is called as you. You are a brand. If you create your brand and work towards it daily, the industry, the company will give you the VIP pass and board. Even if you don't get it, no worries. You can create that platform and give opportunities for others, wherein you can come up with an organization and hire people, right? So that is the strength of creating a powerful brand called as you, because every one of us have talents. The only thing is we need to identify and make the best use of it and take it in the right way. And at any point of time, don't compromise on what you like to do. Passion is what which will, it's like a fuel to keep you along. Keep doing it at any point of time, at whatever age age is just a factor. If you love dancing, if you love, these are the simple things which will keep you, it's a fuel which will keep you going at any point of time, right? So all the best. I think these are some pointers which I could give you in this short span of time, but I'm sure at least one point would have sparked and ignited you. And another important thing which I would like to share is, as I said, the chain which we are, we are in the social distancing phase, right? So we need to maintain the social distancing and break this and create a chain. But the other important thing which I would say is, don't break the chain of spreading positivity, right? Through WhatsApp or through whatever mode. If you have some positive news, share it. If something is negative which you have received, please restrict yourself from sharing to others. Please, that is the way which you can stop this, I would say the virus called as fear to spread with others, right? So thank you so much once again, and all the very best to everyone out there, aspiring graduates who are watching this session. Don't lose hope. You are the best. Have that said, every day and start working. Things will be always positive, right? And things will happen as you wish at any point of time, not just this pandemic, at any point of time in life when you face challenge. Just be confident that, yes, I know myself, I can do it. Say it every day and you will be able to do it. Take care and stay safe along with your family members. Thank you so much. Thank you once again to the Patrician College management for conducting such a wonderful, creating that opportunity, I would say. I was talking about opportunity, right? So this is an opportunity for everyone who have joined this. And I'm sure your day will be great and your years will be great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gayatri. That was a very, very motivational session. You came with so much energy. I'm pretty sure everyone was, just fixed to the screen the whole time. So while we are trying to conclude this session, I will open this floor for any questions that the students may have for Dr. Gayatri. So there's one person called Manoj Kumar, which says, ma'am, can any company encourage their employee who want to do their PG, that is postgraduate? So basically, any company initiatives that support further education.
Yes, of course, Manoj. There are a lot of companies which support higher education. So I think majority of the companies have this different policies in their higher education policy in different name of the programs. So no worries. But the only thing is, if you're very specific that you need to join a company wherein you want a higher education assistance, you need to do a research for that. So you can connect with, for example, if you got an offer in specific company called A, so you need to do a research. Another important point which everyone has to keep in mind is whenever you are applying for a company, don't just blindly say that this is the opportunity I received, my placement officer said, my neighbor said, I'm applying for it. No. Do a personal research, get into the website, talk to people who are already working in that company. That is where I said LinkedIn will give you an opportunity to connect with professionals who are in different companies, right? So you can talk to them, get inputs, clarify your doubts. So for all this, I think you need to take initiative to do this. Don't expect, I would say, I think the system here in India, or I think we have created that. At times, I feel that spoon feeding is something which is going to an extra level. Like, be it anything, somehow I will get this information. No, there is a lot of data available, but is it the right information? You need to filter and do it on your own, right? Just because somebody is doing it, it doesn't mean that it may suit you, right? So you need to do a research on your own, get convinced by yourself, and then apply. That is one of the important things. And go through the job description. If you have doubts that I will need higher education, somehow I need to apply for a PG and I need to get it in that company, talk to that HR. Try to get it. If not, there are other companies who provide. So that is how you need to consciously check out and do a personal research, right? But yes, there are companies, a lot of companies who have different programs for their, but the certain things would be like they need to sign a bond, they need to be for a couple of years. It differs from company to company, right? For 2 years or 3 years, because they are sponsoring. So they expect, some, I would say, you have it in, your accounts, right? Return on investment, ROI, right? So they are, investing in you. So they would expect a return. At the end of the day, it's business. It's an organization, not, an NGO, right? So certain norms would be there, which you need to get clarified before you get into any organization, right?
Yes, before we move on to the next question, students, a feedback form link is in the chat. So just fill the feedback form while we are answering the questions. So the next question, I think I can represent the students in, okay. Okay, the Manoj has a follow-up question saying why many companies are not giving such an opportunity to study PG. Any major reason for this?
It depends on the policies of the management, Manoj. So I do not know. I mean, there would be companies. It depends on the company organization management decision, right? But it doesn't mean that out of 100%, all the 100 need to give a higher education. It depends on their, I would say, the strategy which they have set. At the end of the day, it is business. So it is not a mandatory thing that they need to give higher education for all the students to do PG. It depends on the organizational decision. That is clear.
Yes, Gayatri ma'am, just another very quick question. What do you mean by a USP? A lot of students are confused.
Yes, so I think marketing students would be knowing it. So for any product, if you see, right, you go to I would say, a mall or somewhere, and you select a specific product or anything, be it your clothes or your household items. Why do you select that specific item? Because it can perform well, or the cost would be less, but still qualitative, right? So that is called US. What is the unique selling proposition? What is the uniqueness? It's called as unique selling proposition. Don't just go by the names of the brand, right? When you buy a mobile, you do a lot of research. You go and do a lot of reviews, YouTube channel, what and all they have put reviews to select one phone, right? Similarly, when you are applying for an organization, I would say if you want to choose a company, you need to see if it is, I would say matching my USP, right? Now the theme is what industry wants, what candidates should have. But I am saying in the vice versa way, also you need to aim for that. If you want to apply for that company, whether it is, my skills are really, so that is the level which you will have to aim for. If I'm good in Python, okay, or if I'm good in marketing, right? And if you feel I'm an expert in it, this company, if I'm getting an opportunity, if I feel that this marketing strategies or the way they're doing it's not okay, reject that company. That is where you are creating a brand and visibility of yourself. You get it? Instead of that, you just apply for anything. That means you are one among everybody. If you want to have that unique characteristics and be one and confidently get into it and survive, definitely you'll have to create a USP. If you have that USP 100% in a very detailed way, definitely you will get calls from companies. You need not go and hunt, right? That is what I said. Create a brand having a specific USP for yourself, right? That will help you in the long run. That will help you in the long run. Not just for this 1 year or 2 year. After that, okay, Patkala, no. If you want to have in a long run success, okay, think of the big picture, right? Not just for the short term. For that USP, that is unique selling proposition, by constantly doing your SWOT periodically every 6 months or every 3 months is very, very important, irrespective whether you have already got a job or whether you are a fresher. It applies even for me and everyone, right?
Yes, Dr. Gayatri, thank you so much. I think the session on personal branding, right? And I think you were talking about USP. I think these are all very common concepts we deal with in psychology as well. So this session has been really, really informative and helpful. Thank you so much. And with this, we can end the Q&A session. So Ms. Hemalata, thank you. So Ms. Hemalata, please take the floor.
Thank you, Divya ma'am, for moderating today's program. I now invite Dr. Purushothaman, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Hemalata. Today's quote is, all our dreams can come true if we can the courage to pursue them. Walt Disney. Most Honorable Director and Secretary, Brother Dr. S. Arokyaraj, Honorable Academic Director, Dr. Fatima Wasal, respected Ma'am Principal Dr. Usha George, our beloved Vice Principal, Shift 1, Dr. B. Meena. Shift 2, Dr. Arokya Mary Geeta Das. Our most valued invited guest speakers, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear students, it's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. Hi, on behalf of Petition College of Arts and Science and the entire fraternity of the Institute, first of all, my sincere thanks to Almighty God for making today even a grand success. By His blessings and grace, we are able to make the event what it was. On behalf of placement team, I give a really heartfelt vote of thanks to our resource person, Mr. Murali Krishna Raghavan, Regional Manager, Vibro White, who spent his busiest time creating the occasions. Today, we had the opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this is definitely encourage the students in our future events. Thank you, sir. I should mention the deep meaning of his appreciations for Mr. Amos, HR Manager, Axis Bank India, his explanation of banking sector and other related job for giving excellent coverage to speech idea for him. Thank you, sir, for your presentation. I would like to express my gratitude to Dr. Gayatri, HR motivational speaker, master training and facilitator in India, for providing encouragement speech. Our thoughts have enlightened our minds and shown us a new path. Thanks to all these speakers for adhering the occasions and sharing their opinions today. We are all inspired by your great words. Thank you, ma'am. We are all thankful to our Honorable Director and Secretary, Brother Dr. S. Arukyaraj, for their motivation. I extend my hearty thanks to our Academic Director, Dr. Fatima Vasant, and Principal Dr. Usha George for his enthusiastic support. I also extend thanks to Vice Principal, Shift 1, Dr. Bibina, Vice Principal, Shift 2, Dr. Arokya Mary Geeta Das, for gracing your crucial work and sharing with us your opinion and finding this present time. I am happy to express a vote of thanks to Ms. T. Vaidegi, Assistant Professor, which has made this program a grand success through their motivation and dedication. I cannot thank everyone enough for their willingness and involvement to take on the completion of the work beyond their comfort zone. So I especially thank the people who have been the backbone of the event, especially for technical arrangement team and student coordinators for their unflinching support and coordinations. I would like to give special thanks to placement coordinator, Ms. Jacqueline Priya, and the member of placement team, Mr. John Vasigan sir, Ms. Nivedita ma'am, Ms. Divya ma'am, Mr. Aravindraj sir, Mr. Kalayarasan sir, Mr. Nagarajan sir, and our team members to make an event a grand success. Our heartfelt thanks to our students for active participations with these warm words and a kind message. We move to the end of today's session. Once again, a big thank to all of you to make our event grand success. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. I finally